For what's being asked. Yeah. Welcome everyone. Aloha. Aloha and welcome to day 23 of the 40 Days of Reiki, where I'm coming to you live with the intention of educating, informing, inspiring, and intriguing you about Reiki. Reiki energy as a tool for healing in mind, body, soul, and spirit, as well as Reiki energy as a spiritual path, the whole system of tools and techniques as a spiritual path. Reiki energy also as a facilitator of spiritual growth, spiritual awakening. And so I'm coming in here live every day, sharing lots of good energy with all y'all. Hello, Belinda, Nat G Beauty, Alsmain. Saw some other people are here. Lorette, Aubrey. Welcome, everyone. Aloha, everyone. And yeah, this is day 23. I'll be going 40 days. And this whole thing was inspired by Jesus and the Lenten season, and to really honor Jesus's journey during this sacred time of the year. He really loves that. and to really, like take a moment this time of year and reflect and heal and let go of what no longer serves and invite in like the highest frequency, the highest healing energy, the highest consciousness, dropping that divine into the sacred container of the human body. That's what I'm all about. That's what my Ascended Master team is assisting me with, is compelling me strongly to share this with y'all. So I appreciate y'all being here. Replays always available on IGTV at Joyful Raw Life, as well as my YouTube channel, Taylor A. Norris. So you can find that, catch up if you like, because we've gone into a lot of good stuff so far these past 22 days. The coming days we'll keep going deep. Like it's infinite. It's infinite, okay? It's really, really infinite. The more I work with Reiki, the more I understand how infinite it is. And as I always say, it's Reiki a la carte. Take what you like, leave the rest. Take what resonates, leave the rest. Reiki's not a religion. Everyone is welcome here, whatever your spiritual beliefs are, whatever your religious beliefs are, whether you're not spiritual, not religious, not on a spiritual path, any and all. That is all welcome. You're all welcome. I'm sharing my beliefs, my experiences, because that's what I have to source from, as well as, what my ascended master guidance team chooses to bring forth through me. So, a couple announcements. Please share this. Those of you that are feeling healing here, help me get to more people. I really do not understand the Instagram algorithm at all, okay? So if you could help me out and share this to more people, my guides would love it. I would love it. The more the healing can get out to more people, the better for all of us, okay? So please share this to anyone you think may be open or resonate. You can always just drop that, as tag them in this, or share it in your stories. Share it in a DM. I would super appreciate that. I'm sure they would too. It's a way to give. It's a way to give. If you're receiving healing, this is one way you can give back, is to share it with someone else. Reiki 1 and 2. I will be teaching that course in May. Online, meaning anybody can take it anywhere in the world, no matter your level of health or anything like that. It's great for beginners. It's the first course to take. It's also really great if you already have Reiki in any lineage, at any level, to retake, because every time you take a class, the energy you receive, maybe you already have some, it's refined, it's transformed, it's added to, it's brought to a higher frequency. So every single time you do a training, the energy is actually strengthened in you, as well as, you get different things from different teachers, different systems, different lineages, work with different streams of Reiki, because Reiki is conscious life force energy. It's universal life force energy. I'm realizing the more I work with it, just how high level consciousness the energy is. It's not just prana, like life force. Okay, life force, that's like a blanket statement. Reiki is like extremely high consciousness, enlightened, ascended energy that is like, hey, bring me to the earth. I want to help the people. Very, very kind, compassionate energy, gentle and extremely powerful. So Reiki 1 and 2 waitlist, y'all can get on that. The link for that is in my bio, as well as in the description for the YouTube. Please get on that so I can tell you, when it is and when you can sign up. Registration will be open sometime soon. Okay. And last announcement, I have a free video mini course, The Best Kept Secrets of Radiant Health and Spiritual Awakening. It ties all this together. It helps you prepare your sacred container as a hospitable environment to retrieve all aspects of your soul. It creates the radiant health that is a foundation and an amplification of spiritual awakening. It will make your container that much more hospitable for the Reiki energy. It will clean you and clear you out so that you can really channel the energy super well. So the two very much go hand in hand. You can sign up for that free mini course. The link is in my bio or in the description of the YouTube video. Enough chatting. Let us invoke the Reiki. Reiki Invocation. That just means it's a guided meditation where I call in the energy. The energy can come to you if you're open to it. If you're not sure about it, it won't go to you. If you're on the fence, maybe you'll get a little bit. You'll get just the right amount though, okay? So don't worry about that. And yeah, we'll get started. We'll get into that. I'm going to stick with the longer invocation because why the heck not, okay? Why the heck not? All right. Y'all go ahead and close your eyes and take some deep breaths. Turn your awareness inward. And let go of whatever you were doing before this, whatever you're thinking before this. Let go of the outside world, the external world. Let it melt away. Let it fall away. Then come inside. Come inside. It's nice and cozy in here. And we'll light it right up. The light of Reiki fills the space around you. As you breathe in, the light of Reiki flows in on your breath and fills your body. You receive the light, and the light within you wakes up and is revealed to you. This is the light of your life force, your spirit. There are archangels standing at the corners of the land, and on every side, standing all around you. And they shine their light into the light. As you breathe in, the power of love fills your breath, and you receive the power of love. And the power of love within you wakes up and is revealed. You remember, love is who you are at the core of your being. The light of the divine mind fills your breath, and as you breathe in, you receive the power of the divine mind, and the divine mind within you wakes up. Your higher consciousness, your higher thought is present, and the field of possibilities is open. Your intuition, instincts, and imagination are awake. Your inner guidance, your inner truth, and inner authority are revealed. Your heightened perceptions, senses, instincts, and observations are awake and present and revealed to you. The light of the divine heart fills your breath, and as you breathe in, you receive the power of the divine heart, and the divine heart within you wakes up, and your heart light is revealed. Your heart light shines out in front of you, on each side, above you, below you, and within you. This is your divine presence. And as you see your divine presence, you see it in everything and everyone around you. The light of the earth rises through you and fills your body and your breath, and you remember that your body is made of the earth. Your body gives your life force, your spirit, breath, and life. Your body is the treasure house for your great beaming light. Your pure human spirit is revealed. The light of creation, the light of God, fills the air that you breathe and flows in and reveals the light of creation, the light of God in you. Your divine spirit is revealed. Your divine spirit and human spirit unify in your breath. When you listen, you can hear the heartbeat of the earth and the heartbeat of creation beating in the same rhythm as your heart. The light of creation and the light of your body are one light within you. Your divine nature is present in your human nature. You remember your beautiful spirit, your life force is here in your life, in this moment in time. Look into your heart and say thank you to you. Take this time to notice how deeply you love, how deeply you care. We say thank you to each other. We are meant to be here together today. We say thank you to the angels and the enlightened ones who join us. And thank you to the teachers who come before us and the descendants who come after us. We are honored to be among them. Aho, amen, namaste, and so it is. Thank you. Mahalo. As a child of God, I claim my power and purpose as a servant of God. I demand that all darkness leave me and all who are watching immediately. I ask that Archangel Michael place me and all who are watching in his blue bubble of protection against all darkness. Y'all can come back when you're ready. Or just stay in it. Like, no rush by any means. The invocations can go really deep. Really, really deep. I've had some super mystical experiences and really deep healing from these invocations. So yeah, the more open and receptive you are, the more healing that can happen. Yeah, Belinda's feeling it stronger every evening. Well, I'm stronger every day I show up. And also, Belinda, you've been coming every day, so you've been receiving Reiki every day, and you've been healing every day, more every day. Like the Reiki, because you keep saying yes, is given permission to keep healing, keep clearing, keep purifying. So that's what happens. My whole body is tingling. Yeah. I'm healing every day by showing up and doing these too. Like it's total. It's total. Yeah. They're the real deal. The absolute real deal. Oh yeah. Yeah, and that's what I was saying about the Reiki classes before we did the invocation too. I'm rereading my Reiki manual right now and was reminded of that, because I've been saying, oh, you get different things from different teachers for those of you who already have had a Reiki training. But also what they say in the manual, William Lee Rand, who's done so much to create a system, an organization, a way to share the Reiki energy in the 3D material world. He writes the Reiki manuals, and he was saying how it really is encouraged to keep going to Reiki classes over the years, higher levels, but also repeating the levels too with different teachers. And because each time you'll receive, even with the same teacher, because they will have raised their vibration, assuming they kept on the Reiki path and they're using that as a spiritual path and doing the healing work that's needed. They will keep raising their vibration, and each time that they do the placement where the Reiki energy comes directly into you, the energy they're able to channel and bring in is stronger. The Reiki energy is continually stronger, and like what's become available on the earth is stronger and stronger. And so each time you go to a class, the Reiki energy, like I already have from my, my first training, I went and I repeated that training with another teacher. It became stronger. And then I did the advanced level with that teacher. It's stronger and more refined. The more I work with it on my own, it's stronger and more refined each time. And yeah, all the work I'm doing to create a sacred container, it's stronger. It facilitates me being a clearer channel that I can hold more light. If y'all have heard that one before, I've heard that expression a long time ago. It's like, you're preparing the body to hold more light, hold more light. I was like, that's a really beautiful phrase. I don't really get what that means, but I like that phrase. And now I'm really understanding that that's what I've been doing the past almost 10 years, is like purifying my container so I can hold more light, hold more light, hold more light. The more light I can hold, the more I can share, the more I can transmit. the more I am healed myself, and the more I can share healing with others and empower others. And anchor more light into the world through the human body. So it's real. It's legit, y'all. That's what's so funny. Like, if y'all been on a spiritual path for a while, you hear certain things, and then it might take years for you to understand them. And, like, to enjoy that process, that unfoldment to happen. You know, it's really, really a beautiful, awesome, like, thrilling, invigorating, exciting process that, for me, has brought so much meaning to my life. Yeah. Fulfillment, gratification, purpose, soul mission, soul purpose. So I have a lot of things I want to talk about today. If y'all saw my posts and my stories about this live, then you're like, dang, girl, you do have a lot you want to talk about. Well, rereading the manual is definitely a good call. That's what my guides told me to do, because I finished my book on shamanism. They were like, okay, this is the next one to read again. Like, here, reread your manuals. And I'm like, all right, that's what I'll do. So I've been doing that, and that's been bringing up different things to talk about. And, one thing I want to share is why I was so compelled by Reiki especially after my Reiki 2 training. I was super compelled by Reiki after my Reiki 1 training. But after my Reiki 2 training, which my teacher taught in 2 separate weekends, they can be taught back to back. That's how I'll be doing it. One day Reiki 1, one day Reiki 2, but she chose to break it up into 2 weekends. And so, yeah, I was super keen on the Reiki 2 training. After I got the Reiki 1, I was like, all right, I want to share this with others. Like, let's do it. So I was really, really excited in Reiki 2 training. And, like, I had just such a beautiful experience. Really deep healing experiences, visualizations, meeting my guides. A lot of things I've already talked about on here. So go back and listen if you want to hear more about that. And I felt like I'd had my peak experience already. Okay, Reiki 2 training. My first time in Louisiana. And then at the very end of training, one of the students in the class brought her mom over for a group healing facilitated by my teacher. And I didn't know this was going to happen. I think maybe like she had just asked my Reiki teacher, hey, can we do this on my mom now that we're all empowered to give Reiki to others and use it to heal others. And so my teacher arranged for her mom to come, and the student got her mom came. And there were 7 or 8 of us in the class, and her mom laid on the bed, and we all surrounded her. My teacher was at her head, and we were each at different parts of her body, and all laid hands on. And all of us except my teacher, we just had Usui Holy Fire 1 and 2 Reiki. We were brand new students. Nobody had taken it before. And then my teacher had advanced Reiki training. She had a master Reiki training. I think she had already done Karuna Reiki, which is another higher level. She had taken multiple classes from multiple teachers and really, refined her training and her energy that she was able to channel. So she knew a lot of advanced techniques and was doing those advanced techniques. And then all the rest of us were all surrounding the body. And it was so awesome. How do I even talk about this? To do a healing like that, it was really like her mom was in the OR and we were all the surgeons. And not only that, but it was Jesus was there, all the angels were there, all the different guides from all, 7, 8 of us, they were all there, all the Holy Fire guides and angels were there. The room was full, y'all. It was packed, packed house, sold out, no space, or so I thought. And so my Reiki teacher's at her head, you know, doing her thing, working her, because she's really good. That Reiki teacher of mine, she's really good. I've had healing sessions with her. She's powerful. She's powerful, okay? And all the rest of us, we're just doing our Reiki too. Like, we just learned, okay? And I'm feeling the energy so hard. Like, it's so good. It's so powerful. It is so amplified. It's so strong. And like, you know, I'm peeking, you know, eyes closed, okay, eyes open. I'm getting instructions about where to place my hands and stuff, because you learn that in Reiki 1 and 2, like where to place and like how to know. And also, if you don't have the intuition, there's like standard stuff you could do, but my intuition's really strong. I always just know. All right, so I was moving around, and I was like, homegirl has like hella entities in her. Hella, like so many, okay? Like, there's the party of all the light workers out around. There's the whole party of the underworld happening in this poor woman's body, okay? And as she's just laying there, like, completely blissed out, peaceful, by the way, like, the whole time. All right, so I'm, like, cracking my eyes. I'm seeing all of us. I'm like, oh, my God, we are all frickin' angels. Like, I mean, the human healers in there. I was just like, she's an angel, she's an angel, she's an angel, she's an angel. I'm feeling so much freaking love in my heart for each of these ladies. And I still, you know, I'm getting emotional right now as I remember it, because I'm like, oh my God, like, everyone in this room is an angel in human skin in a body. That was so beautiful to see. And we're all just sharing our light, okay? And then what happens next is my eyes are like a little open at this time, okay? I see this brown, hazy spirit lift out of this woman's body. And accompanied with seeing this brown, hazy, like misty spirit, there is this extremely strong odor. It is an odor of death, of decay, of sickness, of very foul. It is not an odor that I've ever smelled in any kind of normal situation. You know, it's not like you just smell the trash can or you smell decomposing. It's a very specific smell that I've not experienced, like I said, from any kind of normal stimuli. So the odor and the spirit lifts out, and it just dissolves and goes into the light. And now that I know about, like, what I know, like, my teacher was probably doing certain techniques, and she had done her Archangel Michael prayer, I'm sure, and Archangel Michael had probably taken that spirit away into the light or into back where it came from, because it has free will. So I saw that, and I was like, mind freaking blown. Like, this was open eye, okay? This was open eye. My eyes were open. This was not third eye, you know, internal vision thing. This was open eye. I'm looking around. Did anyone else see that? Everyone has their eyes closed. I'm like, well, shit, you know? I'm like, I can't, like, it's working, you know, it's working. We're doing it. And so, yeah, the healing session wrapped up. My teacher finished. I didn't see any other spirits come out. It was at least one, though. And she finished, and yeah, like, we shared some experiences after. Maybe a little bit, but like the course had already ended pretty much. So, and I'm like, I think I told my teacher what I saw. I'm not sure if I told anyone else, because, yeah, I don't think I did. I think I told my teacher, and my teacher felt like what we did hadn't worked. And I was like, girl, like, yeah, it did. Because she doesn't see, she feels, she has other, like, clair senses, kind of extrasensory abilities. But hers is not the seeing. And I was like, yo, I saw an entity come out. Like, we did it. You did it. Like, the techniques you were using, like, they worked. I saw it. I smelled it. It happened. And she was like, she felt a little better after that. But then I don't know if she even believed me. But the thing is, I believed me. I believed me because it was so strong. It was so real. It was so, oh my God, 100%. Like, so after that, I was like, obviously something crazy like that happens. I'm like, I want to know everything I can about Reiki. I want to practice it as much as I can. I want to surrender my life to it as much as I can because, oh my God, I had been searching for years for a path. I've had tastes of this, of seeing auras and seeing fairies and things, and like having these very strong visualizations and all of these things. Thank you, Carly Mansfield, for your kind words. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate all y'all being here. I know this is really far out there stuff I'm sharing here, but I'm sharing it. Here we go. So, yeah, I was super compelled because, like, I remember when I came to Hawaii back in 2015, I was like, I wanted to refine my psychic gifts, and I bought some books and things, but I never really found, like, a path that really called to me and really spoke to me as, like, the one to take until Reiki. And it was like, oh my God, this can help me refine those gifts and expand upon them and harness them for good. How can you decipher that Reiki is not demonic forces? Oh my God, it's like glaringly obvious to me. Maybe you didn't experience the Reiki invocation at the beginning, but I mean, Reiki, so I was describing a Reiki healing where we were actually all shining the light, and the light gives any kind of demonic spirits, negative spirit attachments, deceased loved ones who have become a spirit attachment to someone. It gives these spirits, who are often lost spirits, a chance to heal and come into the light. Okay, so it heals and it releases these spirits in the most gentle, loving, healing way. So it's not like violent, like an exorcism or something, right? It's not like, oh, we gotta rip you out of here and like you, right? It's like, nah, like you can come into the light. So like they come into the light. They are drawn into the light. Carly, definitely go back and watch and do the invocation and see what you experience too with the inviting the Reiki energy in. It's conscious life force energy. It comes from a very, very high place in the heavens, a heavenly realm where there is no duality, if you want to look at it like that, or a dimension, a higher dimension, if you speak dimension, where there is no duality. You know, like this dimension, there's duality, there's love and fear. Reiki comes from like, you know, like super high consciousness where there is only love, there is only ascended masters. This would be like heaven, like heaven of the highest degree. You could look at it as like the enlightened realms, you know, if you're more from like a Buddhist tradition, like the pure realms, those kinds of places. But really it's like with your discernment, you feel it. And I think that's also why I was not drawn to any other real like extrasensory or psychic gift path, because I was like, I don't want to see dead people all the time, you know, and I don't want to be guided in this, you know, by a demonic energy or open myself up more to demons or something like that. And Reiki for me like felt right. And it also, what it does too is it instills and installs like the protection around you and teaches you how to clear yourself. And it gives you the protection so that when you can be open and have these higher senses come online, that you're not, attracting negative entities and stuff. I'm not sure. I don't know what pranic healing is. I've never had it. I know prana is life force energy. And as I was describing at the beginning of this, Reiki is life force energy, but it is a specific stream of life force energy that is of a very, very high level of consciousness. It is enlightened life force energy. It is ascended life force energy. It is life force energy that comes from the highest heavens, the highest dimensions, the most enlightened realms. It is pure white light, unconditional love force energy. Okay, so I don't know about pranic healing or anything. I know that now that I'm infusing my breathwork practices with Reiki symbols, it's like next level. Okay, next freaking level. So that's it. But yeah, I wanted to also talk about pranic healing, but uses different techniques of healing. Sonia pranic healing. I've never heard of that. That's the thing. There's a lot of different energy healings that work with different energies, and each like form will have different tools and techniques to relay that energy. And a lot of these energies are compatible. So potentially someone who's already doing pranic healing could then do a Reiki class, and like the Reiki and the pranic healing could be a similar, two different energies being channeled, maybe through the pranic healing techniques or through the Reiki healing techniques, right? But sometimes what I was learning, like relearning again last night, is sometimes the energies are not compatible, or sometimes they are compatible, but you need to like do a prayer to Jesus or to Reiki or, to whatever energy you're working with the pranic healing, to be like, okay, pranic healing, like guides, please, work and make the energy compatible with the Reiki energy and the Reiki guides. And they can work that out and make it so that like whatever healing you're offering, maybe in a pranic healing session, is empowered with Reiki too. So it's like extra. So I'm learning that, and I think that's really cool, because a lot of us, it's like not a better or worse or best or comparison thing. It's like, how can we come together and utilize different tools and different techniques and different energies, and also use our own discernment about like what are we drawn to, what feels good to us, what feels, Carly's Manfield is saying, yeah, you're so beautiful and compassionate. Thanks for clearing that up. My pleasure. Anytime you're hearing an energy healer talk like me, right? Like, does it feel beautiful and compassionate? Does the energy that I'm picking up feel beautiful and compassionate? Does it feel good? Does it feel like love, or is it making me like afraid, or does it maybe just like feel a little off or something? Like, these are really good things to tune into, because we all know this, especially y'all that are coming here. Y'all are more sensitive types. Y'all are maybe more empathic types, already on a spiritual path, light workers already, whether you're doing it professionally or maybe you've had some energy healing sessions. So yeah, you tune into that discernment. And as I've said many times on here, Reiki has really helped me with that discernment. And it's to the point now where I can just straight up ask my guides, like, hey, is this cool for me to work with this? What did I just receive from Pele? Like, is this black magic? Is this good? Like, should I work with this symbol? And they're like, Taylor, yes, it can be used for black magic. You should probably not work with it and not share it. I was like, oh, okay. Good to know. Yeah, because once you do open yourself up and, you become a clear channel, everybody want to work with you, and that discernment is so key to learning who to work with and who not to work with. So, yeah, I wanted to share them. I was reading last night, and reading from my master manual. me see if I can find the page. I did mark it this time, but of course I'm like unable to do like earth things now. Okay. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Alright. I want to talk about soul versus spirit, because I've been talking about soul and spirit in a certain way on here, and I was reading it in the manual last night, and I was like, okay, this is interesting, because I want to, really keep crystallizing what those words mean to me, and also be very clear about making sure y'all get the same thing, because those are both, they have a bunch of connotations, right? When you hear soul, you think something, most likely. You hear spirit, you think something. So like, let's get on the same page. And we'll literally get on the same page here in just a second. Alright, so I'm going to read this to y'all. Little story time, children. Gather round. Gather round. Mommy's going to read you a story. Belinda's like, stop doing that. I don't know why I love the British accent so much, even though I don't do it very well. Alright, so let's get into this. Soul. Soul is that part of us that is the repository of all our experiences from this life, from all past lives and in between lives. It also contains all the attitudes, values, and beliefs we've formed about our experiences, as well as the decisions we've made about ourselves and about life, and what we've learned. It contains many parts, some conscious, but many subconscious. It is also the home of the ego. There are usually many levels of awareness within each soul, and each soul is different depending on the experiences each has had and the way the soul interpreted those experiences. There can be parts that have been traumatized and not recovered, parts that are sick, angry and sad, injured, and have low levels of consciousness. There can be evolved parts that have healthy, positive qualities such as wisdom, kindness, love, joy, vitality, and have highly evolved levels of consciousness. The soul is who we are as a unique individual, and it is at the soul level that Reiki attunements and placements are received. And the attunements or placements are what I talk about. They actually transmitted, like they transmit the Reiki energy directly to you in a Reiki 1 and 2 class, in a advanced Reiki training or a master class, and etc. higher level ones too that I haven't taken yet, but I will. Alright, how does that resonate with y'all's idea about soul? For me, I was like, yeah. Okay, like it's an imprint, it's a record. It's like it contains all your past life memories, all your past life karma, all your present life karma, memories, experiences, everything that is subconscious happening in present life, everything that is conscious in your present life, the ego structure, meaning your personality, your likes and dislikes, your tastes and preferences, your bad habits, your good habits, all of these things. And so, y'all know I've talked about soul retrieval a lot on here, and like reclaiming, two related topics, soul retrieval and shadow work. Shadow work gets you down into that subconscious so that you can draw up these aspects of the soul that need to be healed, that maybe were carried on from a past life. And it's like, all right, you got to work on anger. You got to work on this relationship. You got to work on, whatever it is, this trauma, this sexual trauma, right? And shadow work is shining the light of awareness on that so that you can bring that to the light and heal it and clear it with Reiki. And Reiki really facilitates and supports the shadow work, as I've said. Any kind of shadow work you're already doing, and And it's basically like a shadow guide is how it's functioning for me now, where I'm not doing, I'm not doing like teal swans, like shadow work program, or like some like shadow work, like set program, like 12 step. I've done a bunch of 12 step shadow work in the past. That is shadow work, by the way. If any of y'all have done 12 step, that's absolutely shadow work. They don't call it that, but that's what it is. So I've done like more of the set stuff before, and like, different maybe forms of it in psychotherapy. But now I'm not doing any like set form, like, okay, write about these experiences or this, or like ask these questions. Like, I empower Reiki to like be my shadow guide and help shine the light of awareness on the things that I need to be made aware of. And I ask, help me to understand them, help me to heal them, clear them, release them. And always to understand them too, because the more I understand, the more I can then like teach it, teach the message and articulate it, because that's part of my path as well. So shadow work is soul work. It's soul work. Soul, it's a bunch of different parts. Maybe y'all have heard of like parts work too. Like, this would be a similar thing. Parts are the parts of the soul, and really looking at, drawing up to conscious awareness those parts that have been shoved down, and also like getting the good parts back, like I talked about. Yeah, Belinda's saying she never realized 12-step program was shadow work. They call it a spiritual program and everything, but in my mind it's absolutely shadow work, because you're doing an inventory of like all the bad stuff you've ever done. You're sharing it with someone else. There's inner child work as well in ACA, Adult Children of Alcoholics, and I did a lot of that. Any kind of inner child work can be a form of shadow work, can be a form of soul retrieval as well. So, parts of the soul that get severed off, like I said, some of those, in my case, my inner child. Not that I had lost my entire inner child, like still she was like alive in me. At one point though, y'all, I like didn't have any inner child. I was so serious all the time. I was sad. I was hardly smiling. If I smiled, it was fake. I didn't laugh. Like, nothing was like, I was just like zombie. This is when I was on a bunch of psych meds, by the way. But, so the inner child can be one of these soul parts that's like severed off, and the soul retrieval aspect is like, let's get that goodness back, let's welcome back that inner child, but like, let's make sure there's a good inner parent in here that's going to take care of the inner child, so that the inner child can come back and will want to stay. This is why I'm always talking about like, creating a safe container, a sacred container, all of that. How do you do that? By living a healthful life. Healthy self-care, healthy patterns, healthy external environment, for you and these parts of your soul you're inviting back. So for me, the inner child had been severed off. My sexuality had been severed off. My femininity had been severed off. Sexual trauma can do this. Any kind of abuse can do this. I think, honestly, y'all, one of the downloads I got was like, every time you black out on alcohol or drugs, there's like some soul loss that happens. There's some fragmentation that happens. And a lot of like where you go is this void that I've talked about, where the souls get lost. Yeah, it's really low vibe. And some people, like, they don't come back, right? Or they just keep going there because at least it's like not here, which is really sad. So yeah, so that, when I read that about the soul, I was like, yeah, this is pretty much how I understand it too. And just a note about the ego, like I've said here before, ego is a really loaded word too. Try to just think about it. I think about it as like the personality, like the Taylor human personality, who's like, like more introverted and, what else? I'm like not thinking of it. Likes to dress this way, and, likes crystals, and, different tastes and preferences and tendencies, like maybe is more quiet or not on here though. That kind of thing. Yeah. I'm not going to be, this is from my Reiki manual, so I'm going to share it like this, but I'm not going to post it. But you should do the Reiki Master. I know you're on the list for Reiki 1 and 2, but you will get this in your manual later on. I'm not going to repost it though. Yeah. So, yeah. Thanks for understanding. I want to read to y'all about the spirit now and what I mean by that, because this resonated. I was like, right on, this is what I'm talking about. But I wanted to say about the ego, like, it's not good or bad. There are things about my personality I'm having to release that, like, are dysfunctional, okay? Like, certain things, like the perfectionism and self-criticism, like different self-sabotaging behaviors and stuff like this. Toning down my OCD to be, like, only, like, workable OCD, that kind of thing. But then there are aspects of ego that are very useful. Like, we want some of that OCD so that things get organized and there's structure and, a clean environment and different things like that. So the ego is not good or bad. There are parts that do not serve, and then there are parts that really do serve. And, like, how can we boost those parts that really do serve and release and let go of any kind of unhealthy patterns that may have lumped onto the ego through social programming, past life carryover, anything, family expectations, social expectations. It's hard being alive right now. Y'all know. Yeah. All right. So, the spirit, your spirit, my spirit. The spirit is that part of us that is connected to Source, connected to God. The spirit can evolve too. This means that it can develop a greater connection to God. Since God is infinite, there is no limit to the development the spirit can experience. Hey, no limit, baby, no limit. I like the sound of that. There will always be a higher level, a greater experience that will give access to more of God's resources, experiences, and states of consciousness. Because the spirit connects to God, it is the spirit that provides mystical experiences, including a feeling of oneness, of being connected with all other beings, all of life. It is through the spirit that we have a feeling of love toward everyone and everything. The spirit makes its awareness and resources available to the soul. As our spirit evolves and becomes more refined, so do our various levels and types of consciousness. And it is the spirit that experiences the holy fire ignitions and then sends the energy into the soul. The spirit captures the Reiki and locks it into the soul. All right. Yes, I love this. Okay. Now, I've talked about this before though, but the spirit, you can take more spirit in, the more soul is in your body. The more your body is a safe container, the more soul is going to be back in that container residing, the more space there's going to be for the spirit to be in there. And the spirit is then able to, like, plug into this super high consciousness Reiki energy. Not only plug into it, but allow more and more of this high consciousness energy to be, like, circulating in your container and, like, exploding out of it. And yeah, it's a lot of good energy, a lot of healing energy. So that's really important. It all works together too, like at all the levels, right? So that's why Reiki is truly mind, body, soul, and spirit. It's helping your body heal and become a safe container. It's doing the soul retrieval, which is allowing more spirit to come in, which is then allowing more of this, like, enlightenment and spiritual awakening to happen. So the more we can support this process too. That's why the guides love me so much. They're like, you're so like into like being healthy. Not enough healers are into this. We tell them to eat healthy and like drink water and you know, exercise, and they don't want to. But you actually do. You're all about that. So really, like, the more you can take care of your body, the more your soul can like relax and drop in. You know, that inner child is wanting to come back because there's an inner parent in there that's taking really good care of this body and this environment, you know. And then the more soul that's in, the more the spirit can be in there, and the more of this like super high frequency energy can come in. So yeah, I think that cleared it up for me in a good way. I was like, good, like we are on the same page, you know, this is what I'm talking about, this is what I'm thinking. But it's important to define terms like this, because we all have different ideas, and like different traditions have different ideas, and we all have different experiences with different traditions, different backgrounds, and all of that. What else did I want to say? Also, yeah, what is the holy in Holy Fire? This was in the manual last night. The holy, because holy, another super loaded word. Holy is referring to wholeness. Also, like, it is the Holy Spirit. The Holy Fire is the Holy Spirit, is like what it's revealing to me. But the holy is really is wholeness, and that is very much that whole spiel I just gave y'all about sacred container of body, you know, hospitable environment for soul. More soul that's in, more spirit can come in, and the more spirit can come in, the more that infinite energy just like streams through, like you are a clear light channel. It's clear light channel, right? And when all those parts, think of it, it's like one of those Russian dolls with there's like the doll, the little one in the middle, the wooden one, and then you got the two parts that plug, and it gets bigger and bigger, and there are like, you know, 10 layers of it. You reclaim all these good parts, suddenly it's like that's the whole authentic self structure. It's all in place, and guess how you feel? Whole. You feel totally whole. Because at the same time, you're assembling all those parts, like the good parts, back together, you know, in the sacred structure. Okay, Holy Fire is doing its part to burn off that which no longer serves. Because we got to make space for it. I'm always talking about making space. Got to make space for all these parts to come in and plug in, and the wholeness to happen. Because, you know, different things like get in the way of that wholeness. Such as spirit attachments. Yes, friends. We're going to go there a little bit more. I mean, that's where we started with my group healing story. So I was like immediately on board with spirit attachments. I had already become aware of, feeling them on me in the past. And, after seeing that one, I was like, yeah, this is real. After that healing, I started working with my teacher's teacher, and she was helping me learn how to clear before I had been granted those advanced techniques in my master training. You do receive a clearing technique in Reiki 1 and 2 that's effective. I still use it every day, all the time, anytime. Like, it's great. And then I already knew certain other clearing techniques, and then there are ways to clear your space and everything. But the fact of the matter is you can still get attachments on you, especially, you know, as I was working through a lot of this stuff, a lot of the shadow work that was coming up for me to do. And I was also entering into psychic fairs, like different environments where like there was a lot of people with a lot of spirits. Like the healers were bringing their spirits that they worked with, which sometimes good, sometimes not so good. You know, different levels of consciousness. Okay. And then the people that were coming to the fairs also were like, many of them needing healing like really bad, or like had spirit attachments on them. And then spirit attachments, they will come into your, whatever your vulnerability is. And I think there are certain things we do that make us more vulnerable in certain ways, like different emotions too. If we're feeling like a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, if we're in any kind of addiction, oh my God, that's like their favorite frickin' thing. If the body is in a state of disease as well, they will tend to come in. But so I was reading last night about this, and I was, let me see if I can find it, so I don't just say it. I turned the page, and y'all, I saw it right there. In the master training, I received a couple different spirit release techniques. And one I've been using a lot lately, I haven't even used this other one. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I found this, because that's the thing about these trainings. Like, you learn so many things. Like, I'm relearning things that I can now incorporate in. You can only incorporate so much, right, at a time. So I cannot wait to work with this one spirit release. So I'll share this with y'all. So the Holy Fire Reiki spirit release technique is a powerful and compassionate Reiki technique. It releases spirits of all types into the authority of love and forgiveness. Love is the most powerful healing force in existence. In this technique, God's love expresses as the light. The light shines on the spirit and bathes it in God's love. Immersed in the power of love and the grace of forgiveness, the spirit releases willingly from the client into the light where it is healed by God. So again, it's gentle. It's not an exorcism. There's no like spiritual warfare going on where it's like, you gotta get out, go. Right? It's like, no, God's love. It's going into love and forgiveness. So like just raising the total vibration, alchemizing the whole situation so that there's even more healing. It's not just healing for the person with the spirit attachment, it's healing for the spirit that was attached, if that spirit is on board for that. So it says, there are many kinds of spirit attachments. Not all spirit attachments have malicious intent. They're not all bad. Many consist of confused spirits who did not cross over into the light and may not know where they are or that they have attached to you. Excuse me. So as I was saying before, a lot of them are just confused and lost, and we're like, and just attach. We call these discarnate spirits, and the Holy Fire Spirit Release Technique can help them cross into the light and go home to their loved ones. Some spirits even believe they are helping the person they attach to when they are not. I think in many cases this is like deceased loved ones who pass on, and they want to stick around and help like a family member, and they'll attach to the family member, and then sometimes even the family member like thinks that that spirit is helping them, and maybe in certain ways it is, okay? Maybe they're cultivating the relationship that they couldn't cultivate in life, right? After this family member passes on, okay? In other situations, a spirit may come to help a child or a person in crisis and remain present after they are no longer needed. Again, like if a parent dies, for example, and leaves behind their child, they'll come attach on the child because they still love the child, right? And they're not wanting to hurt the child. They're just wanting to like be around and be helpful. But here's the catch, y'all. Regardless of a spirit's intent, spirit attachments will almost always cause problems. Regardless of a spirit's intent, spirit attachments will almost always cause problems. This can be a hard one to swallow. They can cause physical weakness and illness, mental, emotional, and spiritual dysfunction, problems with relationships, weaken one's creative abilities, cause disorientation, and make debilitating conditions one might have worse. Because of this, the Holy Fire Spirit Release technique is a valuable tool for Reiki practitioners. The method is compassionate to both the client and the spirit. Holy Fire Reiki Energy carries with it the power and grace of divine forgiveness. This forgiveness does not come from our own energy, but is given to us as a gift. Because its source is not our energy, the spirit cannot use it to try to maintain a connection with us. Coming from a third heaven or higher, it is more powerful than any energy to which the attaching spirit has access. Because of this, the process can easily release any attached spirit or spirit trying to cause problems. It is important to understand that forgiveness is not granted because a spirit's behavior is accepted or approved. It means that by forgiving, you are not judging the spirit nor wishing it harm. By forgiving the spirit, you go to a higher level of consciousness which prevents the spirit from having a way to attach to you. In this technique, the grace of forgiveness and the power of love flow into and around the attached spirit. As it does this, it dissolves all cords and connectors and sources of power and all effects from the spirit in this life and all past lives, and releases the spirit into God's care so that God's plan for it manifests completely. Because God's love is receiving the spirit is more willing to leave the body gently with no resistance. There is virtually no battle as often seen in other spirit release or exorcism techniques. It is important to simply let the spirit go with no interest in who it was, why it attached, or what will happen to the spirit after release. The Reiki practitioner simply focuses attention on God's love. If your clients want to know more about the spirit, tell them that God's love is now revealed in the place where the spirit was attached and that they need to focus their attention on God's love. Getting too obsessed about what the spirit was, what it was doing and all that gives it more of an identity, more, to like ground into and attach to. But y'all, this is so powerful because, like I said, it's compassionate and it's healing for the person that had the spirit attachment, and it's compassionate and healing for that spirit who often, they want to pass on and they just don't know how. The loved one, when in reality they're there and they're causing a lot of problems. I think this is so important, y'all. Regardless of a spirit's intent, spirit attachment trouble with stepping into her power, believing in herself, feeling good about herself, trouble with relationships, with addiction, with all kinds of things, okay? And this person, my friend, she got Reiki, and that started a healing process with her, and then she worked with someone who was very gifted in this kind of technique and spiritual release and using Archangel Michael to facilitate spirit release, and working with Jesus and working with God and working with ascended masters in this healing spirit release kind of way. And what the healer told her is that, her mom had attached to her, and her mom, was around trying to help and love her and support her and make it so that she didn't miss her and that they could still have a relationship. Her mom had the best intent possible, okay? But what she did by virtue of attaching, she was blocking and clogging all of my friend's chakras, all of her chakras, her root chakra, her sacral chakra, her solar plexus, her heart, oh my God, her throat especially, her third eye, her crown, everything was clogged up and congested because her mother was attached to her, okay? And when this healer released her mother from her, I saw this girl heal so profoundly, so deeply, so quickly. It was like, when I was around her again, I was like, oh my God. Like, it was obvious. She was just like radiating light, and was like much more open and much more personable and just like clearly like healed. And her life too, like looking at her life and what had happened for her, had healed like a lot of goodness and more positive relationships and healing and growth and career growth and all of these things. And this was from a spirit attachment of a deceased loved one who loved her, who had no malintent, was hanging around her trying to help her and wasn't. And in doing the spirit release, the healer had been able to release her mom into the light. Because her mom doesn't belong on her, like hanging around. Her mom deserves heaven. Her mom deserves to be free and like have that peace, that's available in death, and to move on and allow my friend to move on. But my friend had to be willing to let go too, okay? Because it's like a double thing. So I think this is what can be challenging when it's a deceased loved one spirit attachment, is that there can be some kind of resistance to letting go. But there can also be resistance to letting go when it's, maybe not a deceased loved one spirit attachment. It's another type. So there can always be trouble with letting go, but the person really who with the spirit attachment has to be 100% on board. Their free will, right? Free will. I'm ready to release this spirit attachment for the healing to fully take place, and they've dislodged their energy. They've, taken it away, and so that the spirit then can willingly come into the light, be healed, move on. So really, really beautiful. It was so beautiful to see this in my friend and how she had come to thrive in the aftermath, and that had been a key part in her healing. Because this girl had been doing the work, okay? This girl had been doing the work. Like, it's not like she'd been sitting around like, not trying to work on herself and stuff. She'd been doing the work. She'd been doing a lot of stuff. But then this was like that final piece that really, once that released, homegirl got her wings and was flying, So really, really cool to see that and to have an example of this. I hope that illustrates that point. So I have a song, which hopefully my internet will cooperate, and I'm just going to play a little bit because it's not something I have the copyright to. And hopefully it'll play. Let's see if I can get it to the right spot. It was just so perfect for the theme here. All right, here we go. That's all we're gonna get, because it's like 15 seconds. Hang on, let's see if we can go to the next part. Isn't this funny, y'all? Trying to not get kicked off, but also, vibe. All right, y'all ready? Next part. Time to say goodbye. This is Sarah Brightman. Y'all, she's an angel, by the way, if you don't already know that. So as I always encourage you, please, if you're resonating, sign up for my Reiki 1 and 2 course waitlist. I would absolutely love to have you. And to facilitate a healing experience for you. If you're like, I really need a spirit release, y'all can reach out to me and we can see if we work something out. But the Reiki course will do that too. Okay, we'll make sure that happens. All right. I love y'all so much. We'll be back again tomorrow. Have a beautiful Sunday. Namaste. Much love. Mahalo. Shine on.